Hello everyone, I'm Bill. Welcome back to my game. This is a Sunday recap video. I believe it is the recap number 19. So the party has decided to go to the Earth plane. We backtracked a little bit at the beginning of the game to let them figure out who they were going to use, what was going on, who they were taking, and that killed a little bit of the time. After that, they go through the portal and they activate the key to key the Earth plane to the key, so that way they'll have a way to open up a portal in the future. It wouldn't necessarily be the gate portal system they're using now, as much as finding an existing portal that might be open or closed and being able to use that key to control it. So they start out getting attacked with a fireball, and they hear combat going on. They see some O-reeds being attacked by some bullets. And these bullets aren't burrowing like the ones from the material plane. They're melting in and out of the stone as they're traveling. So the party gets involved in this fighting with these earth elemental bullets. Not necessarily to save the O-reeds as much as because some of the bullets have begun attacking the party at this point. The party fights off about 5 to 7 bullets. I know that the party killed over half of them, and then the rest retreated. One of the party members may have befriended a bullet, but he does not know. All he knows is that bullet melted with the stone and didn't continue to attack after he rubbed its belly. Reading the side note as a game master, reading the Pathfinder's version of the Earth plane gave me so much more inspiration on running it than reading the 3rd edition Manual of the Planes description of the Earth plane. So there are multiple locations that the party could go in, all of which you could then further detail as you see as a DM, but by itself you'd be like, well, it's a bunch of tunnels, it's Earth, and so on and so forth. But the O-reeds take the party to one of the biggest caverns in the Earth plane. This cavern is called Citronide. It's where 40 city-states are warring against each other. And nobody knows what the real reason for the warring is. Everyone just knows that they are. The party ends up picking up one of the crystals that hang along this whole cavern. Some of them are growing up out of the ground and out of the wall. The party decides to get a handful of those. Excuse me, that energy drink's talking to me pretty good. The party then starts to understand why these cities are warring with each other, but it's more of the players understand it more than their characters understand it, because the crystal wants you to pick a fight with somebody, and it could be somebody that's wronged you, somebody you don't agree with. It doesn't mean you have to kill them. It means you need to do something to avenge your feeling of being mishandled. And the party, for the most part, shouldn't have a hard time resisting these crystals, but the first person rolls a 1, which is hilarious. So he goes and he tries to figure out what he's going to do, and he ends up taking the crystals that somebody else has gathered, and without them knowing, which has been hilarious, especially when he goes to show who he's going to show that, hey, look at these crystals I got. He doesn't have them anymore. But I think I set the will save DC for like 12 to 15. I think the last time I mentioned it was 15, but it's not a hard DC. Now, the longer they hold the crystals, the longer it has to influence them. The person that rolled a 1 only was influenced that one time. He still can carry the crystals and not be compelled for a long time to do anything else. And that's just an update on the crystals and how I was ruling them for this location. The party tries to gather some information. They end up finding a gnome, and he is a knowledgeable gnome, but he is also not a very competent gnome. And what's hilarious is the party trusts him, even though he's described as having good, thick glasses, as a book reader, and a big dunce hat. So they're following him. He is taking them to, which location was that? I got my notes in front of me, so this should be interesting. Lavaloch, which is where the fire plane is bleeding over into the earth plane. And it is not a quick travel to get there. So the party's got at least a week or two on foot traveling there. And I'm not sure they're aware of how long they have. The gnome just said, "Follow me." That said, one of the players during these travels decides to use his true seeing glasses and look into the ethereal. So he's seeing all the undead of this plane, because not everything in this plane is elemental. There are some things that actually have souls that have been dying in this plane, or things that have come to this plane that have died. So he's starting to see weird things moving as he's looking around, and then he sees a pit fiend. The pit fiend's very well dressed. He's not a naked pit fiend like is depicted in the bestiary. So he approaches and he says something in the ethereal plane, and the party doesn't hear it, and definitely the player looking at him doesn't hear it. He goes and he talks with one of the other players, saying there's something there, and I think it's following us now. And the pit fiend does follow them, follows them until they make camp. When they make camp, it makes itself known to the first watch. It's not doing anything threateningly. It asked if it could sit down and talk, maybe see if you would like to buy some wares. And then it sets out a carpet. On the carpet, it put a key, a block, like a little cube, and one other item that I can't remember. And that was the first item I described too. But the player on the first watch didn't want anything to do with the pit fiend as far as purchasing anything. He wasn't offensive to the pit fiend as much as staying away and just watching him. Well, the pit fiend just sits there. Next watch actually happens to be the centaur, who's the cleric paladin of the party. And his only response is to try to banish the creature. His first attempt fails. His second attempt's blocked by a spell that it casts. And then its third attempt, he believes, passes. Because it and its stuff, including the carpet with the items, is gone. Whether it was actually truly successful or not, he doesn't know yet. But the method he used to banish it, if it worked, he should pretty much know. Also, him banishing it doesn't permanently banish it, and he wasn't killed, so he's not forbidden from returning to that plane for 100 years. So he will be back. Will he be offended by this? Who knows? Will he have measures to prevent the banishing again? Probably. But that's where the adventure ends. They're headed to Lavaloch because the item they need is floating above the magma lava fields of Lavaloch. And it's close to one of the towers that the Ifriti are using. The Ifriti fight with the Shatan of the Earth plane, which are the Earth genies. So the fact that they're trying to do a peaceful thing and fight at the same time is very entertaining to me and very fun to play up if the party gets to interact in that area. The party is going to have a lot of fun trying to mess with both, well, trying to retrieve the item and then also moving into the next plane. They have 2 other planes to go to after retrieving this item, and that'll be the fire plane and the airplane. But to travel to the plane of air, they are going to have to find a way to get there. And after they do find a way to get there, they have to find a way to get back. So that is as it is until we game again tomorrow.